From Transport Topics in Washington, D.C., this is RoadSigns. And now here's your host, Michael Fries.
Thank you for listening to this episode of RoadSigns, the podcast series from Transport Topics that explores the trends and technologies that are shaping the future of trucking. In this episode, we'll take a quick review of our year's conversations at RoadSigns. 2023 will soon be behind us, and like we have done in our previous middle of the year roundup, we will look at the words and phrases that have shaped the trucking industry this year. Before we dive into today's episode, we'd like to invite you to subscribe to Transport Topics, where you can receive exclusive access to our top 100 lists, quarterly magazines, and other news surrounding the trucking industry. To subscribe, visit ttn.ws/TT subscribe. You can also text TT subscribe to 571-622-0001 to become an official member of Transport Topics. That's 571-622-0001. One word that we've heard abundantly throughout 2023 and has grown in discourse over the last several years has been the word alternative, as in alternative fuels. During our Transport Topics magazine event series, we spoke with project lead for Shell's Starship 3.0 Class 8 truck initiative, Ryan Manthry, about how the use of alternative fuels will be positioned with the highly anticipated future of electric vehicles. Let's take a listen.
I think it'll be a mosaic of solutions that help the sector achieve its emission abatement targets, right? So diesel will continue to be a prime energy mover for the next few years. But now you're seeing natural gas, the infrastructure and the maintenance infrastructure coming online. So the security around the supply for these low carbon fuels are improving. So the sector will begin to scale these solutions rapidly. So you'll see natural gas and hydrogen take a more prominent role in that transition. I don't think it'll be a situation of one replaces the other. With as soon as hydrogen comes online, I think natural gas will still continue to play a significant role in helping the sector get to where it needs to be. If you're looking at it needs to, if you're considering where it is right now, it needs to realize an 80% emission intensity reduction in the next 30 years. That's a very aggressive target. And then you take into consideration what the global fleet looks like right now. There's a lot of legacy assets, primarily diesel powertrains out there. So what do you do with that? You can't just have every fleet owner and operator change over. They don't have the capital to do that. So there is a transition period that needs to come into play to allow the fleet owners and operators to change over their fleet gradually. And that's why you see natural gas will take a more significant role now and even leading into the future.
Let's continue with the word alternative, with another initiative from Volvo. Its SuperTruck 2 concept, a challenge bestowed by the Department of Energy to create a truck that improves freight efficiency by over 100%, was premiered at this year's ATA's Management and Conference Exposition in Austin, Texas. Volvo's Keith Brandis spoke about the SuperTruck and the company's expectation for the industry at large.
We've seen a strong interest expressed in seeing what the future could be. And who knows what another 10 years from now, if it's going to look like a spaceship or like the super trucks that we're showing here in terms of its design. But I think it's encouraging for fleet owners to see that Volvo and other OEMs are thinking about the future, that are applying the R&D so that we can address their needs. We had 2 customers that provided input and telematic data, Knight Transportation and Wegmans. And some of the concerns that they had were, how do you eliminate some of the idling? So that's why Eric and his team looked at a 48 micro-hybrid solution to provide power so the truck could continue to have the cooling system working. And Bergstrom provided almost a heat pump, if you will, inside the cab to maintain the comfortable temperatures for drivers. And then we learned a lot about, how do their operations work? How do we keep the vehicle, as most efficient? Like you said, not just lightweighting, but also robust enough for the types of demands that they had. So I think for the industry, they want to see solutions to the problems that they're facing now and likely in the future. And I hope that we can also use this across social media to excite people to come into our industry. We work with a lot of colleges And we're out there on the campuses trying to get them to think about transportation as a career. I'm very fortunate. This is my 42nd year. I mean, who would think that you'd stay with one company for 42 years? But I'm telling the young people, hey, this can be a great career for you. This can be a great life for you. And we're working with vocational schools and community colleges for the technicians for the future, the operations side of it, with the logistics and telematics. There's just so much that's happening in this space of technology and innovation, and we want to share that in every platform we have.
As plenty of conversations were based in the word alternative, we also heard a lot of the word infrastructure, as in electric vehicle infrastructure, and its efforts to build it up in North America. We spoke with Michael Grahay, head of operations with Navistar, and asked him about the process of establishing a proper infrastructure and possible challenges ahead in the near future.
I think just everybody has to work together, because it is not a simple question. Hey, is there a battery electric truck available? I buy it and I run it. Suddenly the customer has to work with infrastructure providers, have to work with charging suppliers, have to work with new technologies where customers don't have really the long years of experience. Diesel engine, all the customers know it. They know the ins and out of a diesel engine, how to run this. With battery electric, suddenly you have a new technology. But we, Navistar, are here to help. So we are offering services to our customers to help them to find the right partner. We have partners that we can also offer to our customers one-stop solutions. And when they say, hey, can you do this for me? So this is a transition. We all have to learn. And now you can always take this example. When the transport system in North America went from horses to trucks, there was also a lot of anxiety changes. How do we, how should we build fueling station? But we have all the stables where you can feed the horses. So now we are in a similar situation, but looking back in history, the transition went quite well, went quite fast. And I'm predicting that it will also work here. And this is the strength, I think, especially here in the North America, that now we are in an implementation mode. So that the question if is gone, it's just how, and everybody's working together now to implement this and to move forward.
Are you feeling the pain of tolls eating into your fleet's bottom line? If so, I want to tell you about BestPass. They offer universal toll management that provides streamlined toll payments, nationwide coverage, and 24-hour account access in a single, simple account. Over 15,000 fleets rely on BestPass every day to eliminate the headaches of toll management. That means saying goodbye to paper toll bills, managing multiple toll accounts, and zero visibility into toll spend. Upgrade your toll management in 2024 by visiting www.bestpass.com or calling 888-410-9696.
As the word infrastructure floods our conversation with the future of alternative fuels and electrification, another word has also made its rounds as a compelling issue for 2023, and that is cybersecurity. The term has been in the pages of Transport Topics most recently with the stories of attacks facing our nation's fleets. We spoke with Mark Zakos, president of DG Technologies, who heeded the call for action about the subject last year on where the industry is now.
I think everyone's aware. So, the messaging that I'm giving is something I don't think we need to give that same message as that, hey, you can be hacked or you can get you ransomed or all you got fish. Don't worry. I think that's clear. It may not be universal, but I'd say, here at TMC, it should be clear. I haven't met anyone who hasn't got that messaging from a year or more, couple years of messaging. What we're really, I think, still need to enhance is the coming together as a community of fleets to help understand, hey, what did you do? What did you do? How can we do better? And beyond that, this is even more important, is that, hey, when you get hit, here's my cell phone number. Call me on the weekend. I might work, for an OEM. I might be a an advisor, I might be maybe a competitor, but we're all in this together. And that's one great thing about TMC is I see people every year, every meeting, and we become friends, colleagues. Even if there's some competition behind us, we don't let that interfere with what we need to get done. It's we're trying to do something for the industry, and cybersecurity is the same way. So if I can create that community and grow this community of experts, let me call so-and-so at that organization. Like now the TSA guys are here from Washington. We had 4 guys from TSA in the cybersecurity task force meeting here today. Everybody's got their business card, and they're here to help. They're from the government. They're here to help. But no, seriously, they are. And that way, this community continues to grow. We know each other. We trust each other. This is the basis of how we get better.
And finally, throughout all of 2023, one of the most used buzzwords we've heard this year has undeniably been artificial intelligence, or as the kids say, AI. There has not been a shortage of takes on this topic. However, Trimble President Rob Painter perfectly lays out AI's position from the context of his company's involvement, as well as its present and future impact in the logistics industry.
We are all talking about it at the moment, and it's both a funny thing and a powerful thing. Funny insofar as we've been doing artificial intelligence and machine learning and data analytics for many years. We just didn't maybe know we were supposed to be bragging about it. And we're certainly in a bit of that hype cycle right now. And let me say, I think that hype cycle is legitimate. The real transition or convergence and breakthrough is around generative AI, and it is nearly astonishing what is happening. And I really do believe it's going to change the anatomy of work and drive levels of productivity and efficiency into the economy that we haven't seen. And I think it makes it all the more imperative that for us as a technology company that we're investing in these capabilities, and from a customer and a market perspective, that people are looking to see how they can adopt technology in order to make their businesses better. So when I think about the world of AI and what's already happening, I think about things that we're already doing, and I think about things that will be done in the future. So let's take an example of video intelligence. So we can do this today to be able to provide you data to know if you have driver fatigue, for example. And the value proposition of that is very powerful. And very simple. 2 words: saving lives. Like literally saving lives. That's something worth investing in. And so we have some of our global customers who already invest in that, and that's machine learning technology that enables us to do that. Predictive dwell times. That's an interesting application of AI, and where we see that we're able to start to deliver more capabilities around that. You could look at the mapping data we have and how we can enhance that through artificial intelligence. And so think about the automatic generation of geofences to put them in their right context, or detecting road network changes. So these are the sort of the starter examples of what's happening in the world of AI. For sure, we'll see it in user support. And generative AI, I think, has a real role to play here. We're in the early stages of seeing what it's already doing for us, and in turn what we can help that do for our customers. Because that user support it really is a real need that the market has, and nobody wants to go read user manuals, and not everybody wants to pick up the phone and make a call. The ability of I call them the chat boxes or chat bots, to be able to respond and understand context and give answers in plain English, like that's here. Yeah. That's not fantasy, that's here. And so these are some of the examples where we see this coming to life. With the scope and the scale we have as Trimble, from the size of the company to the amount of data that runs through our systems across all the industries we serve, we think we're in a pretty unique position to be able to help our customers capitalize on that.
As I mentioned, there is no shortage of thoughts about the implementation of AI. And on that subject, we also spoke with Rishi Mira, Vice President of Strategy and Operations for Trimble Maps, about how the technology will play into the company's products, and provide real-life assistance for fleets?
I think we're definitely focused on improving the experience between shippers and carriers. That has been a key area of focus. Our integrations with our partners. Trimble's not going to be providing every solution needed in the freight movement ecosystem. So investing in building up the industry cloud, removing some of the repetitive tasks which could be done using AI driven models in the cloud, which will help improve efficiencies. Those are things that we are working on. Connectivity of our existing TMSs into the cloud, offering more and more cloud centric services which offer value to our TMSs. New experiences on our Instinct telematics platform, the hyperlocal which we just introduced. How do we enhance that further to even give back office visibility during planning, helping them reroute, helping them connect to the shippers to say, because of a particular hurricane impact, we have to reroute. What would be the impact on the miles? What would be the impact on the travel time and the ETAs around that? Those are the things that we're invested in, and you should hear a lot more about that in the upcoming 6 to 9 months.
Is your fleet still receiving paper bills in the mail? BestPass wants to upgrade your toll management solution before the end of the year. They offer nationwide toll coverage in a single account and can reduce the time spent managing toll by up to 50%. Over 15,000 fleets rely on BestPass every day to provide deep discounts on toll and industry-leading coverage. See for yourself the BestPass difference by visiting www.bestpass.com or calling 888-410-9696.
Before we close, let's take a moment to revisit what we've heard this year from our guests. As we close out 2023, there have been plenty of words that have defined the trucking and logistics industry. The ones we've reviewed definitely shape the future trends and issues going forward. While there is cautious optimism for the 2024 outlook, there is sure to be more surprises and new buzzwords that will dominate the pages of Transport Topics and the RoadSigns podcasts. Speaking of which, be sure to check out our 2023 lineup of the Transport Topic magazine event series, RoadSigns workshops, newsmakers, and other special issues. And make sure to view our new editions coming later in 2024. Lastly, and most importantly, from the Transport Topics and RoadSigns staff, may you have a happy holiday break and a promising and prosperous 2024. If you enjoyed this episode of RoadSigns, please let others know. Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. If my questions have sparked questions of your own, share them with the RoadSigns team or reach me on X at Michael V. Fries. You can also email us at share@ttnews.com. We'll read them and respond daily. Also, let us know how we're doing by texting TT Survey to 571-622-0001. And of course, we'll be back in 2 weeks with a new episode of RoadSigns. Until then, I'm Michael Fries. Thank you for listening and happy holidays.